Hello, fellow libertarians. This is George Phillies again in Worcester, Massachusetts. I'm here with my good friend Joe Kennedy. A few weeks ago in Scenic, California, some of my opponents for national chair managed to reach the California State Convention. There they were asked a series of questions and got to give their answer. Joe here has the questions. He's going to feed them to me, and I'm going to give you the answers that I have to those same questions that were asked to my honorable opponents.
All right, George. The first question we've got is, you've seen the current LNC operational budget. What would you take out of it, and what would you add to it?
We need to cut our fixed costs. We need to focus our money on doing real politics. We don't need a fancy inside the Beltway office. The truth of the matter is, if our national office were located not in downtown D.C., but almost anywhere else, we could tell Americans, we're the party of America. They're the party of D.C., and not even the nice people of D.C. And then we need to put in real politics. Real politics like candidate support, activism, mobilization, and outreach and advertising.
Fantastic. George, when is a declaration of war required for an open-ended military operation on the other side of the planet, and when is it not constitutionally required, and why?
The President of the United States, as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, is allowed to use those armed forces to defend America from attack, defend our treaty allies like our friends in NATO from attack, and, of course, defend the forces themselves. But if we're going to go beyond self-defense and try to take out a foreign opponent, invade a foreign country, that's warfare, and there must be a declaration of war. But our libertarian message should be, we are the party of sensible peace. We're not the party of Republican militarism or Democratic one-upsmanship. Our message should be, we need an adequate defense, and we can get that, the Cold War is over, by large-scale demobilization of our land, naval, and air forces, reserving enough to defend us and defend our allies, few of whom are in any danger.
Okay. One of the challenges one faces as state chair is working with limited resources. Not that I like to beg, but sometimes I think it would be nice if the National Party would take care of X, Y, and Z. What do you think the relationship of the National Party to the state party should be?
The National Party can focus resources on states that face extraordinary challenges. North Carolina and its enormous ballot access challenge. California and its huge areas with vast numbers of potential candidates. Same true in Texas, lots of candidates. What can the National Party do? Downloadable trifolds with plenty of area for you to modify them so that we generate once the libertarian message and you don't have to do it again. Templates using standard techniques for web pages so that when your candidates go active on the air, when they go on to Facebook, MySpace, the internet, the tools and materials are there so the candidates can focus on meeting the people, not trying to figure out HTML code.
Fantastic. If you were to put out a 6-month plan for the rest of the election, what would it be?
We have very little time to change our national party's course. If we fail to do so, our national party will cease to exist. We need to focus the resources on an effective libertarian activism campaign, an effective libertarian advertising and outreach campaign, and on doing politics to the extent we can, not only to convince the American people that we're a good party, but also to convince our longtime supporters and activists that we're worth investing in. It's very hard to turn a party's course around, and even when we put the tiller hard over, which I propose to do, we're not going to have success overnight. But you will, I hope, see libertarian advertising on Facebook, libertarian advertising through Google AdWords, you will see a libertarian message out there, and we need to put it out there permanently.
Fantastic. Lastly, what would be your plans for growth were you actually installed as national chairman?
We need to set a long-term, highly ambitious goal so we know where we're going. Of course, our real political goal is we're the major political party in the United States. We control a majority of Congress, every state legislature, and all of the state houses around the country. That's not going to happen overnight. A shorter term, very ambitious goal is Plan Million. Plan Million is, in the next 6 or 8 years, we're going to move up to 1 million members. That's where we were headed from 1990 to 2000 when things came to a stop. And how do we do that? We tell the National Committee, stop fighting each other, start fighting our opponents. Stop arguing about bizarre features of Robert's Rules of Order and start doing real politics. Start doing things that support good libertarians, like my friend Joe Kennedy here when he was actually running for office, and stop fighting and knocking down libertarians who aren't part of the good old boys club that has run our national committee for the last decade. We need to change, and the way we change is to focus on doing real politics. And by the way, that includes an LNC with committee structure that actually mobilizes activists, because the truth of the matter is, yeah, we have an LNC, it has a few paid staff, they can do a bit of the work. We need to mobilize the libertarians, mobilize the libertarian movement so we do the huge amount of work that we need to build a libertarian future, that shining city of freedom on the sunlit hill.
Thank you so much, George.
Thank you, Joe.